Okay, sorry all of the lighting is a little bit terrible today, but I'm filming this in the middle of the night, and I don't own too many lamps, so I've got my overhead light on, which is always rather dim, and I've got my computer here putting some blue on this side of my face so it's not entirely in shadow. So, with that explained, let's get into the actual point of this video. Okay, so I am filming this in the middle of the night. It's like 10 o'clock. I am filming this in the middle of the night because in like 2 hours, the TBR Takedown 4.0 is going to start. That's a readathon. It was started by Shannon over at Leaning Lights. There will be a link to her video announcing this in the description. And the TBR Takedown is basically a list of challenges and things happening over the next week, starting at midnight tonight, which is 2 hours away from me, and going through the 26th, so it's 7 days. And you just try to read as much as you can. And I figure, as it is summer, and I don't have any school going on, and I do not currently have a job for the summer, that I am going to try my hand at this and see just how many books I can read in 7 days. As a little challenge for myself. So yeah, here is my initial TBR for the week, just based on the challenges. Okay, so the first challenge is pick a book that has been on your TBR. Oh, these are my TBR shelves behind me, and you can't see it because it's not in the shot, but there are literally piles around the bottom of this shelf on the floor behind me because I just have that many books on my TBR. So, I'm going to be honest, it was very difficult for me to pick a book for this because I don't actually know which one has been on my TBR the longest. I don't have that information anymore, and the majority of the books that have made it onto this shelf are books that I've had for more than a year. So, the one I ended up picking is a book that I have had since high school, which is The Best American Poetry from 2010. I figure since this is the only book of poetry that I own. I thought for a long time that I didn't own any books of poetry because I forgot about this one, I guess, but it's been on my TBR for a while, and I figure it is about time that I get to this. It's been too long, and I just need to read it. Actually, that's the story for most of these. It has been too long, and I need to read it. Okay. The second challenge is pick a sequel. This is a series that you started, and you just need to get to the sequel, and you haven't, for whatever reason. You just haven't. And I've picked 2 books for this, because both of them are equally valid why haven't you read this yet kinds of books. The first one is The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. I read the first book in this trilogy last summer, and somehow it's taken me a year to pick up the second one. Who knows? Who knows? I don't. I certainly don't. But that's the first book that I picked for that. And the second one is Brilliance of the Moon by Leon Hearn. This is the third book in the Tales of the Otori series, and I have read the first 2 books in this trilogy and the prequel book to the trilogy, and I read them all for the first time, like, when I was in high school, and I bought this when I was in high school. This would be another candidate for a book that's been on my TBR for the longest time, and I just have gotten through the first 2 books and then stalled on picking up this one. And I reread the first 2 books last year and attempted to make my way through the series, and I just stalled on picking up this one again for whatever reason. So I've decided I'm going to do it. This one. It is going on the list. The third challenge is to read the first book in a series, and for that one I have picked Riverwind the Plainsman, which is the first book in the second Preludes trilogy of the Dragonlance saga. So within the Dragonlance universe, there's all of these different trilogies, and most of the Dragonlance world is written out in trilogies. And there's a trilogy, so there's the original series, and then there's these 2 trilogies called Preludes, which is about the characters in the original series before they were in the original series. And this is the second trilogy of Preludes, the first book. So I consider it the first book in a series. It says volume 1 on it, and that's all that matters to me. The fourth challenge is to pick a book which is out of your comfort zone, and for that I picked up Hell and Back, Reflections on Writers and Writing from Dante to Rushdie by Tim Parks, and this book I would consider myself a little uncomfortable reading because it's a series of essays about authors and about their work and about their lives and that kind of thing. And I am actually not familiar with most of the authors that this person is writing about. And so I consider myself a little uncomfortable reading that because I feel like because these authors are notable enough for this person to write an essay about them in a book, that I should know who they are. And so reading this and not knowing who they are makes me a little uncomfortable. So, and then finally, a book out of your most recent book haul. And my most recent book haul, my most recent set of books that I got was from the library. And I am picking a book called Splintered by A.G. Howard because I realized that the majority of the books that I picked for the other challenges aren't YA. And I wanted at least one that was YA because because young adult books are a little bit easier for me to read and to get into, and I feel like this book, as well as, will give me a little bit of a break from some of the heavier nonfiction or really dense prose or something that I will find in the other books that I've picked for this. So, Splintered. Oh god. Oh dear. Oh god, oh dear, oh no. The piles are precarious. That's all of that. I hope I get this edited in time for the readathon to start, basically, I think. Yeah, this is all very last minute, so that should be fun. Alright, have a lovely readathon if you're participating. If you're not participating, have a lovely week anyway, and I will see you soon.